You're welcome.
Good morning, everyone.
Sorry.
No, go ahead, Paulette. Go ahead.
This is J.S. Bach, Prelude in D minor.
Oh, lovely. Thank you for sharing that with us. And thank you, Susan, for your beautiful flute. It's wonderful to see you all today, and welcome to all of you, who are streaming. It's good to see. We don't really see you, but you see us, right? So, yay. So, first Sunday of August, so we have a brand new opening song. So let's stand and sing our opening song, Swing Wide the Doors.
Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Bring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart of mine. I'm not holding it in anymore. I'm gonna shout it out loud. I understand now what I'm here for, and what this life is about. It's about love, it's about laughter, it's about comfort and smiles. It's about love, it's about kindness, it's about hearts open wide. It's about love, it's about passion, it's about taking a chance. It's about love, it's about service, it's about lending a hand. Swing wide the doors, the time is right. Swing wide the doors to let in the light. Spring in the dawn for humankind. Swing wide the doors of this heart.
This life is about love and laughter and kindness. Can you imagine being here and not being able to express and to feel those emotions? My gosh. So let us take a moment and just feel that presence of the Christ that is within us and around us, and feel that love and feel that light flowing through us, and hear the laughter. Hear that laughter, that joy flowing all through us. And we open our hearts out and just open our hearts. And we allow that presence to flow through us. And we share that love and that light and that laughter and that joy with all on the web of life. We see it move out and touch everything, everyone on the web of life. We share it with all beings. And as we see those emotions flow out from us, we see it, each one of us receiving the same. Receiving the same. And we ask, sweet Spirit, that our minds be your mind, our hearts be your heart, our thoughts be your thoughts, our words be your words, and our actions be your actions. We greet the spirit of this land and the ancestors of this land, and we are so grateful to be here. We greet and we honor you, and we thank you for the opportunity to be here in this building, on this space. We are grateful. And we greet all of our ancestors, those wonderful folks who were before us and allow us to be here now. We greet them and we honor them and we thank them for all that they share with us. We greet and we honor all of our animal spirits, our helping spirits, our guiding spirits, our healing spirits that are with us on our journey. We are so grateful for all that they share with us as we move forward on our path. We honor and greet them. And we greet and we honor all on the web of life, on the web of the universe, on the web of the cosmos. And we share our love and our light, and in turn they share with us. And we are grateful for that, to help us, to guide us on our path, on this journey. We are so blessed, and we are very grateful, and so it is. Amen. Let us stand for our next song, but before we sing, let us greet each other with our wonderful saying, the Christ in me greets the Christ in you, because that's who we are. That's our true selves, and we honor it within ourselves and with each other. The Christ in me greets the Christ in you. 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 Together let us sing, the love come a-trickling down. But if we pray it, kind of adds an extra oomph to it, right? Our Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center affirmation. Together, Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center is a radiant center of divine life, light, and love. We are a thriving, prosperous spiritual community that honors the divine presence in all and celebrates our oneness through loving service and our community. And today is the first Sunday of the month, so we have a different Lord's Prayer. So let's say that together. Loving Creator, we honor you, and we honor all that you have made. Renew the world in the image of your love. Give us what we need for today and a hunger to see the whole world fed. Strengthen us for what lies ahead. Heal us from the hurts of the past. Give us courage to follow your call in this moment. For your love is the only power, the only home, the only honor we need in this world and in the world to come. Amen. That's lovely. I like that one. Yeah. So let us stand for our next song, Love is My Decision by Daniel Nemo. If you wish to stand, if you're comfortable sitting, that's okay.
Love is my decision. It's up to me to give of my heart. Love is my decision. No one else make me to one else can make me forgive. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me, dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can hide in my love. Once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now.
And it is our decision, isn't it? I mean, we choose how we're going to live our lives. We choose how to react when things happen in our lives that we're not real happy about. We choose. And we choose love. Makes things a whole lot easier, doesn't it? So now is an opportunity for prayer. Anyone that you are holding in your heart or any event that you're holding in your heart, just focus on that and you see the love and the light being surrounded by that person or that event. And you see the peace and the joy being surrounded of that sweet spirit, being surrounded by the person or event that you are thinking of, that you are holding in prayer. See that happening. And if you have a celebration, think of that and hold that in prayer. And hold that joy and that laughter. There's beautiful emotions when we celebrate. Hold that in your thoughts. Hold that in your heart. So let's say our prayer. As we center ourselves in the one presence and one power, we realize that our thoughts have the power to heal and bless. We send them out now carrying love, peace, joy, and life, situations and celebrations that we hold in our hearts. Thought by thought and prayer by prayer, we transform the world. Amen. And we do transform the world. You know, many times we don't think one person can do that, but we do. We send it out, we touch you, and then it touches you, and then it touches you. We send that out. And we can transform the world. Absolutely. So now I invite Linda to come up. She's our platform assistant today, and she has some things to share with us. It's very helpful. Good morning.
Okay, we're good? Yeah, thank you, Steve. Okay, so today's daily word is release. I'll read the affirmation once and then we'll read it together, all together. Releasing the past, I make room for the future. Together. Releasing the past, I make room for the future. My life experiences have provided me with many gifts, from joyous to painful. I have taken something from each one, a nugget of wisdom, understanding, solace, that has helped me evolve into the person I am today. I am always growing, always changing. With gratitude, I receive the blessings while letting the painful memories go. I have no room for regret and do not dwell on things I have no power to change. As I release unwanted thoughts and unpleasant memories, I free myself to enjoy new experiences and create beautiful, lasting memories. With an uncluttered mind and an unburdened heart, I embrace the present moment and eagerly create my bright, beautiful future. From Ecclesiastes 3:6, a time to seek and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to throw away.
Thank you, Linda. So this summer, Reverend Jenny and I have been talking about metaphysical Bible stories, sharing that with you. And today my talk title is Couples Therapy. So there's this couple I'm going to talk about, and they really needed some therapy, let me tell you. So, now what's interesting, and I cannot remember the version of the Bible I got this from, but in the beginning of this story, and the story is in the book of Judges. So it starts at chapter 13. And in Judges, it starts out, again, the Israelites did evil in the eyes of the Lord, so the Lord delivered them into the hands of the Philistines for 40 years. So this has been going on for 40 years, and then every 40 years, when you read this, God says, okay, I need to bring someone in who's a Nazarite, who is a son of God, that's what it interprets, the Son of God, to help the Israelites out. So there's this couple, and the couple, they are Israelites, and the woman is off by herself, and all of a sudden a messenger from God comes to her. Now they don't have any children, she's barren, and the messenger says, okay, you're going to have a child, and it will be a son, and you can't have any wine while you're pregnant, and you can't eat any unclean food while you're pregnant. She says, okay, of course she's very surprised because they don't have any children, and this guy comes to her and says, you're going to have a child. The story sounds really familiar, doesn't it? I mean, you see this several times through the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament, so it's a familiar story, a nice theme that they had running. So she goes and she tells her husband what this messenger says, and of course he's obviously very shocked, and he goes to himself and he prays. He says, okay, God, I want to meet this messenger who came to my wife and said, we're going to have a child. I want to talk to this guy. So sometime later, the messenger comes to him and tells him the same story. And he also adds, you cannot cut the young man's hair when he is born. Can't shave his head, ever. So no wine, no unclean food while she's pregnant, and when the son is born, you can't cut his hair. Okay? So she has the son, and they name him Samson. And Samson is one of the judges of that time. And he grows up, and he's just a brute and a bully when you read the story. I personally would never like to spend any time around him. So he goes to this town when he gets older, and he sees this lovely young lady who is a Philistine, and that's a no-no. And he comes back and he tells his father, I want to marry this girl. And his father says, come on, son, don't you want to marry someone of your own tribe? Wouldn't that be best? You want to marry a Philistine? He says, I want to marry her. So also in this version, his parents did not know that this was from the Lord, who was seeking an occasion to confront the Philistines. So, this was in parentheses also. This particular version had a little extra information that they wanted to share with us. So it was time to go down and meet this young lady. So the parents and Samson went down to where this lady was living and her family and her tribe. And they run into a lion, and Samson kills the lion. And then that's done, goes down. Meets the lady, meets the family, and they decide, yes, they're going to get married. And then Samson and his family go back home. And then sometime later, it's time for the wedding. So as they're heading down, the lion carcass was still there. And Samson goes over to it, and he turns it over, and there's bees in it, and there's honey. So he scoops the honey up, and he takes some, and he shares some with his parents. And then they head down to the wedding festival. So it's tradition during the wedding festival that 30 men, they pick 30 men, 30 companions to join the feast, the wedding feast with Samson. So the 30 men are there, huge feast, the wife is there, or bride, we could say bride, they're just newly married, and they're having this huge feast. And during the feast, Samson shares a riddle, and they have to answer this riddle. And the riddle is, out of the eater, something to eat. Out of the strong, something sweet. So the festival lasts for 7 days, and they have to give him this answer to the riddle on the 7th day. So after 3 days, they haven't figured out. His companions have not figured it out, so they go to the wife and say, will you please get Samson to tell you the answer? Please. So she goes to him, and after 7 days of her crying, Samson can't stand it anymore, so he gives her the answer to the riddle. And the answer is, what is sweeter than honey, what is stronger than a lion? So, of course, she in turn tells her family, her tribe. So, 7th day, they give Samson the answer, and he's not real happy about it because he knows the wife did it. He knows the wife gave them the answer. They didn't figure it out for themselves, and that he's not happy. But he agreed when he gave the riddle that he would give them, all 30 men that were at the festival, he would give them a new set of clothes. So he goes to another town, and he kills 30 men, takes their clothes, takes it back to the guys and his companions at the festival and gives them the 30 clothes, and he leaves with his family, and he leaves his wife there. He doesn't want her anymore. So he's gone. He takes off. The wife is with her family still. The companions have new clothes, but they got them in a really not very good way, you know? Killing 30 guys to get new clothes. So sometime later, he goes to another town, and he meets Delilah. He meets Delilah, and he falls in love with her, and they get together, and the Philistines find out that he's there. So the Philistines go to Delilah. They take her aside, and they talk to Delilah and say, hey, if you could tell us how and why he has his strength to give us an opportunity to take care of what gives him his strength, we will give you, and it's 5 guys, 5 Philistines, we will give you, how much? 1,100 shekels of silver each. So that comes to $1 million in today's money. I looked it up. I Googled. You can find anything on Google, right? So she says, okay. Because they really don't like this guy. He was a judge for 20 years, and in those 20 years, he killed the 30 men, he killed a lion, he killed 1,000 men with a donkey jawbone, caught 300 foxes, tied them tail to tail in pairs, fastened torches to them, and let them loose, and they ran through standing grain, the vineyards, and olive groves, destroying everything. So they'd had enough of this guy, you know? They just had enough of this guy, and they wanted him gone. So Delilah agrees to find out what gives Samson his strength. So she asks him the question, tell me the secret of your great strength and how you can be tied up and subdued. Now, as I said, it apparently, Samson is just all brawn and no brains. I mean, he is just a bully. So he tells her, if anyone ties me with 7 fresh bowstrings that have not been dried, I will become weak as any other man. So the Philistines bring Delilah 7 fresh bowstrings, and she ties Samson up, and he goes to sleep. So at one point in time, Delilah says, the Philistines are here, the Philistines are here. So he wakes up and he breaks all the bowstrings, and of course, at that time, there's no one there to get him. It was just a test. But he breaks them all, and he's as strong as ever. So Delilah thinks, okay, let's try this one more time. So the second time she asked him the question, tell me your secret of your great strength and how you can be tied up and subdued. He says, if anyone ties me securely with 2 ropes that have never been used, I will become as weak as any man. So they bring Delilah 2 ropes. She ties them up. He goes to sleep. Once again, sometime during the night, she says, the Philistines are here, the Philistines are here. And he wakes up and he breaks all the ropes, and he's fine, strong as ever. She tries a third time, asks the same question. He says, if you weave the 7 braids of my head into a fabric on the loom and tighten with a pin, I will become as weak as any other man. I mean, seriously, Samson, you haven't figured this out yet? Come on. So he goes to sleep, and she braids his hair in 7 braids and ties it to a loom. I mean, this guy must sleep really sound for not to feel what's going on, right? I mean, I thought my husband was a sound sleeper, but this guy beats my husband. And she says, the Philistines are coming to get you while he's sleeping. And of course, he wakes up and he breaks the pins and he's free and strong as any man. So Delilah, the same as his first wife, cries and whines, and apparently he just can't stand a woman crying. So he finally tells her, and this is where the couples therapy comes in. They really needed to see someone to help them, figure out what's going on here. I mean, you would think that Samson would have figured out something's off here. So he finally tells her, if you shave my head, I will become weak. So he goes to sleep. She gets a barber in there. Now remember, he has got to be a super sound sleeper for them to shave his head while he's sleeping. So his head is shaven. He sleeps. He awakens. She doesn't call him. Philistines are coming. He awakens and he goes outside, and they're waiting for him outside. And he doesn't realize his head's shaven at the time. I don't know how, because if you haven't shaved your head in 20-odd years, you would think it would be pretty long, right? But, so he goes outside. The Philistines capture him. They blind him, and they take him to prison. And he's there for a while. And I would imagine that Delilah gets her $1 million. And she's off having a good time. So the Philistines are going to have a celebration with this god. It's a dragon. I guess that's how they pronounced it back then. And they're in the temple, and everybody's there. There's a huge feast, and they decide to bring Samson in, to laugh at him and throw things at him and stuff. But by that time, his hair has grown back a little bit. And they put him between the 2 pillars, and he prays to God, please give me the strength. And he puts the pillars apart. The temple falls, killing him and everybody there. So, he did get his strength back, and he killed all of his enemies, the Philistines. So I guess, at the temple, so I guess God did get, the 40 years of being ruled by Philistines, so at least the Israelites got something this time around, right? Very strange. Very strange. So I looked at Truth Unity to get the metaphysical interpretation of this story, and this wonderful couple. And as I said earlier, Samson was a Nazarite, so that means he was a son of God. And there were others, you'll read others in the book of Judges. As I said, every 40 years, God brings someone into this world to save the Israelites. Samson represents physical strength under spiritual discipline or consciousness of spiritual strength. So when you read him doing these feats of strength, he always prays to God before he does it. Give me the strength to do X. Give me the strength to do X. Give me the strength to kill the lion. Give me the strength to kill the 1,000 men. And doing that, he is pulling from the Spirit of God, the Spirit of the highest power that we all have to do these feats. When his hair was cut, he not only lost his strength, but he lost the most important thing of all. He lost the feeling of oneness with that indwelling God that we all have, the source of his strength. So in cutting his hair, he was cut off from that connection with God, metaphysically. Now, we all know that's not possible. That's not possible. The source is within us all the time, 24/7, 365. We can never be cut off. We're the ones that walk away. God never walks away from us. We're the ones that may take another road. God doesn't do that. Think of the prodigal son that Reverend Jenny talked about several weeks ago. He went away. One of the sons went away, and when he came back, source was always there. He just left on a different path. And when he was ready to come home, he was welcomed home, right? Welcomed home, because God never leaves us. When he loses his eyesight, that represents the loss of spiritual perception. Spiritual perception. It's above the five senses. And the Philistines mean the five senses. They're living by the five senses. But Samson had this extra thing, this extra opportunity to connect with God. He knew about it, but the Philistines didn't know anything about it. Now we saw that number seven was said several times in the story. We had a 7-day wedding feast. We had 7 fresh bowstrings and 7 braids. And that number 7 is a time of completion, when things are completed. And Delilah represents the material aspect of our lives. $1 million, 1,100 shekels of silver. She's the material aspect. The Philistines, as I said, are the five senses under the domain of thoughts foreign to spirit. They're not even connected to God, or they don't think they're connected to God. They represent the many thoughts, feelings, and beliefs we let rule and persuade us that are based on appearances. What we can see with our five senses, what we can touch, what we can taste, what we can smell. When we make decisions based on facts rather than intuition, we are letting the Philistines rule us. So we need to connect with that Christ within and listen to the intuition, that guidance that is within us all. When we look at challenges or conditions before us and think of them as being impossible or hard or difficult, we let the Philistines rule us. There's always a way. There's always a way. We just have to connect with that intuition with us. And we need to stop using our minds and using the mind, that Christ mind, connecting with that Christ mind, give us the highest and best way to do something. And it may be something that you haven't even thought of. You haven't even thought of. And you may question that when that thought comes to you. But trust that intuition that is within us. Trust that guidance that is coming to us always. Trust it and take that step forward. We think too much sometimes, don't we? We just let it get in the way. And we let the five senses tell us, no, 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 there's no way. But when we tap into that Christ within, there's always a way, always a way. Great strength can be attained by one who trusts in spirit, who awakens the true understanding of the light of spirit that is within us all. In Emily Cady's book, Lessons in Truth, she says, each individual receives his own spiritual revelations through turning his attention to the presence of God within himself. Seek light from the truth, spirit of truth that is within you. The very spirit of truth is at your call and within you. Within you, always, always. The Christ within me greets the Christ within you, always. Never going anywhere. We may turn that faucet off, but it's not going anywhere. Connect to the light, to the truth, to the wisdom, to the guidance that is within you. And it will lead you to your highest and best always. Don't just connect to the five senses. Go within when you're taking a decision. Go within however you do your prayer time. I like mine in the morning. I like mine in the morning sitting on the back porch watching the animals. That's how I connect. That's my most favorite way to connect. I feel like I'm touching God in all ways when I'm sitting out there, touching that sweet spirit. So do what works for you. What gives you peace? What gives you joy? Because that's the frame of mind you want to be in when you're connecting. Although it is wonderful to connect when you're stressed out and you touch that space within you and it just calms you down. Whatever prayer you wish to use, the prayer doesn't need to have any structure, rhyme, or reason. As Jenny has shared with us, there are no prayer police. However, it works for you is the right and perfect way to connect with that spirit within. Because you're connecting to it in an honest way, honest for you, truthful way, and you will always, always receive the information that you need. Always. Maybe not that instant, but it will come. Whether you hear someone saying something to you in passing, whether you see something on TV or hear it on the radio, a bumper sticker, a license plate on a car, you will always get your answer. Always. And that is the truth that will set you free. Don't be a Philistine. Connect with the Christ within. And if you meet a couple like Samson and Delilah, just kind of stay away from them, you know. They're not very friendly. Yeah. Interesting couple. Interesting story. Yeah. So let's just take just a brief moment. And feel ourselves connecting with that wonderful spirit that is within each and every one of us. And know that all the answers, all that we need is there. Everything is there for us. Just take some time to connect in. And know that you are never alone. The Spirit is always with you. The answers are always with you. You just need to open your heart and listen. And as we're sitting in this quiet time, Paulette has a lovely song that she wishes to play for us. Thank you, Paulette. That was beautiful. It's a lovely song after meditation. Wow. Thank you, thank you.
It's called meditation, in fact.
There you go. How about that? How about that? So now is opportunity to bless this wonderful place, the spiritual center. There's a basket in the center if you wish to put your offering there. And know that that offering is not only takes care of our center here, but it takes care of the surrounding area, because we do tithe as an entity. We tithe. So together let us say our prayer of plenty. In the infinity of this moment, all is perfect, whole, and complete. We acknowledge the one presence and one power, expressing through us and Unity Williamsburg Spiritual Center every moment of every day. We open our hearts to the wisdom and intelligence that exists in the universe and in our minds, through which all answers, resources, opportunities, solutions, creativity, and all healing comes. All doubt is released as we trust that our needs are being met in this moment. Divine order is unfolding for our highest good now. And so it is. Amen.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful for all that we have. We are so blessed. We are so blessed. We are so grateful. We are so blessed.
Yes, we are blessed. And I want you to just see yourself on that web of life. And I want you to envision whatever you send out, that is exactly what you're going to receive. So if you send out joy, you'll receive joy, because it's all connected. So it's going to come back around to you, right? So whatever you send, it's going to come back around to you. Know that. As you bless others, you also bless yourself. And as you give, you receive. And so it is. Linda has some announcements for us. And then we'll do the peace song. There it is.
It's like a small animal.
Okay. Today is Potluck Sunday. Join us after the service for good food and good conversation. Next week, Reverend Ginny will share a message with us, and our musical guest will be Canda Lambert. It's also Watermelon Sunday. Again, join us. Flyers are in the front of the sanctuary for the sensitive group gathering next Saturday, August 13th from 1 to 3 p.m., as if there was any question. We also have an August calendar of events, and please feel free to take 2 or 3 and share them with others. All throughout the summer, which is passing quickly, a variety of guest speakers will be gracing our platform. You won't want to miss any of our summer Sundays. We're still doing the summer donations for fish. So the food pantry and clothing serving the community since 1975. Any small travel-sized toiletries, pods for laundry detergent, those kinds of things are wanted. And there's a basket in the fellowship room to drop them off. Prayer boxes are available at the front of the sanctuary and on the table in fellowship room. Please place your prayer requests in the box. They will be picked up by our chaplains, and prayer will begin immediately. Our prayer chaplain today is Jane Siegel. She will be at the back of the sanctuary offering private prayers. If you have a prayer request during the week, please email your request to our prayer chaplains at one word, prayerunitywilliamsburg@gmail.com. And do remember that all prayer requests are held in the strictest of confidence by our prayer chaplains. We'd love to stay in touch, so go to our website, unitywilliamsburg.com, if you're here or listening from somewhere else, and fill out the information to be on our email list to receive our weekly updates, which features upcoming events, guest speakers, and articles. Also, Reverend Denise wanted me to share that if you want to get a message to us, meaning anybody, the ministers or the board or anyone, like email updates, go ahead and put them in the prayer boxes as well, and they'll get to the appropriate people. Also, in the fellowship room, there's a card for a member of our congregation, Tom, get well card, and anyone is welcome to come back and sign it. And I believe that's it for today.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Linda. Mm-hmm. Appreciate you. So let's come together in the center to sing our peace song. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as Creator,
The light of God surrounds us. I am light. The love of God enfolds us. I am love. The power of God protects us. I am power. The presence of God watches over us. I am presence. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Have a wonderful week, folks. Join us for food and conversation in the back. We got lots of stuff back there. Blessings to you all.